In this video, I show you the #1 reason why high-performing engineers struggle when they move into management, even though they are capable and experienced. Watch to the end for a practical tool you can apply right away in your career. Let me start with something I see all the time. People step into leadership roles thinking they are underperforming. Not because they actually are, but because what used to work for them suddenly feels less effective. If you recently moved from being the person who executes to the person who directs, and things feel heavier, slower, or more uncomfortable than expected, this is for you. And I want to be very clear from the start. If leadership feels harder than you thought it would, nothing is wrong with you. Most people assume the challenge in early leadership is about skills, communication, delegation, decision making. Those matter, but they are not the real issue. The real issue is this. Leadership requires a different operating system. As an IC or senior expert, your value comes from doing. You solve problems, you move fast, you get results directly. Then you step into leadership. And suddenly, you are measured on outcomes you no longer fully control. You are still responsible, but you cannot just jump in and fix everything yourself anymore. And if you do, you often create new problems. That tension is where many people start doubting themselves. Before I go deeper into this, let me quickly share why I know this transition so well. If you don't know me yet, I'm Dr. Tobias. I've spent nearly 2 decades leading and developing international teams in tech startups and global organizations. Most of my career has been focused on international leadership development, leading teams across cultures, time zones, and high-pressure environments where performance actually matters. For the past decade, I've been running leadership and learning organizations across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, supporting leaders from around the world. What I care about is not theory. It's real leadership under pressure. That's why today I focus on deep one-on-one coaching and why I created Next Leader OS, a practical leadership system for people who are stepping into bigger roles and want to do it with sustainable performance and fulfillment. Here's the part nobody really prepares you for. The transition is not a role change. It's an identity shift. You are no longer rewarded for being the smartest person in the room. You are rewarded for creating clarity, direction, and stability for others. And in the beginning, that feels uncomfortable. Leadership often feels like you are doing less while carrying more. Less visible output, more invisible responsibility. That gaps create self-doubt, overthinking, and a constant urge to prove yourself again and again. Many leaders respond by working longer hours, by micromanaging, by questioning every decision. Not because they are bad leaders, but because their internal identity has not caught up with their external role yet. This is where I want to reframe things for you. Feeling uncomfortable in leadership is not weakness. It is often a sign that you are growing. The people who struggle most are usually the ones who care deeply about doing a good job. The real risk is not discomfort. The real risk is staying stuck in doing mode for too long. And leadership is not about doing more. It's about directing attention, energy, and decisions the right way. And before we move on, let me give you something practical you can take right away from this. A simple question I often ask leaders I work with. At the end of a typical workday, ask yourself this. Did I spend most of today executing tasks or directing attention? Executing is answering messages, solving problems, jumping into details. Directing is deciding what matters this week, what deserves focus, what can wait, and what should not exist at all. If you feel exhausted but not satisfied at the end of the day, chances are you were executing all day. But if you feel calmer and clearer, you were probably directing. That distinction alone changes how people show up the next day. Another way looking at this is, as a leader, you are almost always operating in one of two modes: reaction mode or intention mode. Reaction mode feels productive. Intention mode creates progress. If your calendar is full, but your direction is fuzzy, you are reacting. Leadership starts when intention comes first. This shift doesn't happen automatically, and it shouldn't be done alone. And if you recognize yourself in this, here is what I want you to know. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are in transition. And transition needs space, reflection, and the right guidance. If you want to explore what this shift looks like for you personally, and where you might still be holding on to an old identity that no longer serves you, I invite you to have a conversation with me. Not a sales pitch, just a clarity-focused conversation. You will find the details below, and regardless of whether we work together or not, remember this: leadership is not about becoming someone else. It is about letting go of who you needed to be before.